So Super Rugby round 19, the final round of the regular season. Team of the week, the dream team. As always, I've gone through these guys, looked through the stats, had a rewatch of some of the highlights, and yeah, I've made my picks. You guys can let me know your thoughts, and any guys that missed out, there are a lot, because that last round I thought was a particularly good one. So there's definitely a lot of guys that miss out, but here we go. Start with the props. Gone with JP Smith from the Reds. I mean, along with just being part of that very, very good Reds front row, he had 3 passes, 8 runs, 69 meters for a prop. 69 meters, 1 clean break, 3 defenders beaten, and he had more run meters than any other Reds player in that game. And he's a prop. So, if nothing else, that deserves a spot on the board. But yeah, just generally that Reds front row is really good, and he is a big part of that. Next, I've gone with Thomas Dutoy from the Sharks, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's really come a long way since his shift to the tight head. You know, at the start of the season, he didn't look that great in that position, but he has learned pretty quickly, and yeah, really putting those skills to good effect. He had 0 passes, 5 runs. ESPN has him at no meters, but Fox Sports has him at 14, so we'll go with 14 meters. Apart from strong scrum, the most impressive stat for him is just 16 out of 17 tackles for a prop. He was putting in some effort, and yeah, I mean, that Sharks team had to make a lot of tackles, and he was a large part of that. Next, hooker, with 2 South African guys to pick from, but I have gone with Malcolm Marx. 1 try, 10 runs, so 12 runs for 25 meters, 6 passes and an offload. 1 defender beaten, 7 out of 9 tackles. The lineout was operating at 100%. He had 1 line break created and forced 2 turnovers on the ground. The guy is just immense. I don't know how many times he's been in Team of the Week. Come the end of the season, I'll probably do a kind of end of the season dream team based on how many times guys appeared in the lineup. But yeah, Malcolm Marx, just what a guy to have in your team. I will say kudos to Aka van der Merwe as well, because probably in terms of that game, that try that he scored was more important than the one Malcolm Marx got. But yeah, still, Malcolm Marx is a very, very good player. In the second row, I've gone with Sam Whitelock from the Crusaders. He also scored a try, 7 passes, 15 runs for 29 meters, 2 clean breaks, 1 defender beaten. Again, good tackling with 13 out of 15, 5 line-out takes, 1 line-out steal. The Crusaders are a classy outfit. He is a classy captain, one of the best locks in the world, and it's no surprise that he's been on here multiple times. A guy who has not been on here multiple times is Richie Arnold from the Brumbies. It's usually him in the shadow of his brother. But in this game, it was him, I think, that took the glory. It was 1 try, 1 try assist. I mean, it was great to see them both starting. It's a pretty rare occurrence. But 5 passes, including an offload, 10 runs, 14 meters, 2 clean breaks, 2 defenders beaten, 11 out of 13 tackles, and a line-out take. So he's not as busy as his brother in the line-out. But in that game, just around the park, put in a very good shift. Next, guy with quite a work rate, Carl Brink from the Lions. No passes, so you know what he's going to do when he gets the ball. 13 runs, which is a good effort. 64 meters, again, good effort. 1 clean break, 3 defenders beaten, 7 out of 8 tackles, and 1 pilfer. So just doing a bit of everything very well. And I mean, his name was just getting mentioned all the time in that game for good reason, because he was just very, very busy. Next, from the Hurricanes, I've gone with Blade Thompson. So in a losing team, he still got a try. 4 passes, 12 runs for 37 meters, 4 defenders beaten, 5 out of 7 tackles, 2 line breaks. Solid shift in a team that just wasn't able to quite get it done, but going into the playoffs, he's a key man to have, and it's a pity for the Hurricanes that he's leaving at the end of the season. Next, from the Sharks, Flip van der Walt. 2 passes, 10 runs. 20 meters. Okay, one defender beaten. He made a few errors, but 27 out of 28 tackles. 27 tackles. To put that into context, the Jaguares in that game, as a team, made 52. 27 tackles. The guy was just phenomenal. I mean, we all know what the engine is on that guy, but I mean, he just showed why he is so valuable to that team. He will need to put in an equally kind of big effort next week against the Crusaders, but yeah, if he can do that kind of thing, that's a good step in the right direction. Next, from the Chiefs, scrum half, Brad Weber. He got a try, 47 passes, 1 offload, 5 runs for 114 meters, which is very, very good. 3 clean breaks, so he was definitely picking the right moments to run the ball. I mean, 5 runs, 3 clean breaks, that shows you that when he was running it, it was very effective. 2 defenders beaten, 3 out of 5 tackles. He was just running that show. In recent weeks, he's really put his hand up as a guy that's still saying he hasn't given up on the All Blacks jersey. There was a while this season where he was behind Te Toiroa Tahuriorangi, even at the Chiefs, for a starting spot, and the latter got All Blacks selection, not that he got a game for the June Test. Weber was kind of out on the outer anyway. It was out in the cold, but yeah, based on performances like this, I don't see why Weber. At least he's putting his kind of hat in the ring, and we'll see what the selectors do. But yeah, based on performances, very good effort. Next, fly half, Reece Hodge. So this guy scored a lot of points in this game, but it still wasn't enough to get the Rebels over the line. He got 3 tries, kicked 100% with the boot, which is something he's not been that great with this season. His work from the tee has never been that accurate. He's got a big boot, but not always accurate. This week it was when it needed to be. Again, still not enough. 16 passes, 12 runs, 87 meters, 3 clean breaks, 7 out of 8 tackles. There's a question about Aussie rugby is who can be that fly half if Bernard Foley is not playing. There's still question marks about Hodge at his game with his creativity. He's certainly got the ability to do it on his own. If he can start getting like try assists, line breaks created, that kind of thing, then we'll definitely be putting him forward, but he's making the right movements at the moment anyway, and he's certainly got that physical game that a lot of 10s don't have, so if he can get that playmaking side as well, then he could be the man going forward, but yeah, we'll still give him time and kind of see how he goes. Next, from the Crusaders in the midfield, I have gone with Jack Goodhue. 2 tries, 1 try assist, 13 passes, 3 offloads, 12 runs for 53 meters, 4 clean breaks, 6 defenders beaten, 10 out of 13 tackles, and a line break created. He kind of ran right against the Blues, didn't he? He had a really good effort. Another man who, going forward with All Blacks selection, is kind of, you know, putting his hand up. Sure, he's in a very good team, but he's putting in some good performances, and going into finals time, he is a threat to be watched. Yeah, very good player. Speaking of good players, this guy's been on there a fair bit. Michael Little from the Sunwolves. 13 passes, didn't score any points, but 13 passes, 4 offloads. The guy offloads a lot. 15 runs for 101 meters in a losing team with a man down for much of the game. 2 clean breaks, 6 defenders beaten, made 13 from 13 tackles, so he's defensively sound. 1 line break created, forced 2 turnovers on the ground. It amazes me that he is one of the best midfielders in Super Rugby, and he's not been slapped up by the Blues. He was not wanted by the Blues, and I've mentioned it before, but it's just kind of indicative of where the Blues are at, that these guys leave and shine. And yeah, the Blues don't seem to be able to identify talent when it is right under their noses. Next, outside backs, George Bridge from the Crusaders. I'll admit with George Bridge, there are times when I look at him and think, he's not that good. He just plays for a really good team. But then he puts in a performance like this and I think, okay, no, he's just really good. 3 tries, 1 try assist, 3 passes and an offload, 9 runs, 123 meters, 5 clean breaks, 4 defenders beaten, 8 from 8 tackles. Defensively, again, very solid. So, yeah, just more depth at that Crusaders team. And made the Blues look pretty silly on pretty regular occasions in that game. Next, Waisake Naholo, speaking of guys who got away from the Blues. 1 try, 6 passes and an offload, 10 runs, 130 metres, including a really, that try that he got, he just really showed some gas and ate up some metres. 2 clean breaks, 7 defenders beaten, 9 from 10 tackles, including one crunching one, a couple of crunching ones, but one right at the end, which pretty much put an end to the Rebels season when they were hot on attack. But yep, Waisake will need to keep performing if the Highlanders are going to go anywhere in the postseason. But yeah, we'll see how we go in the playoffs. Lastly, Andrew Muirhead. Again, he's not really a sexy pick in that he's not like almost 100 kilo Waisake Naholo. He's 84 kgs. But man, the guy puts in really big-hearted performances, and he's been a large part of what the Brumbies have been doing right towards the end of the season. He got a try, 2 passes, 9 runs for 111 metres, 2 clean breaks, 6 defenders beaten, 5 from 7 tackles, and even got a pilfer. So he's just doing a lot of things right. And yeah, if the Brumbies can keep on like this, other guys keep putting their hands up, I don't see why they will not be in that playoff conversation next year. But yeah, that's the team. You guys let me know who you think was unlucky to miss out, because there are a few. And yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. Alright guys, see you later.